The status quo bias. Why people don't like change. If you prefer the status quo, you don't like change. You prefer things to stay the same. Psychologists call this the status quo bias. Many people have a status quo bias, but some people really like change. Joe and Elena are both 35 years old, but they have very different attitudes about change. Joe has lived in the same city in the same apartment since 2005. He has been with the same company for 12 years. He hasn't bought a new phone for 5 years, and he has had his car since 2010. Elena has moved 3 times in the past 2 years, and she has had 4 different jobs since 2012. She has worked in her current job for 2 years, but she thinks she'll probably look for a new job next year. There are some advantages to the status quo. Life is less stressful in your comfort zone. You feel that you are in control because everything is familiar. There are no risks. However, it can be a good idea to leave your comfort zone and take some risks. This can help you in your professional and personal life. How long have you had the same job? Are there other jobs that pay better or are more interesting? Do you sometimes feel bored with your living situation or your social life? How many times have you eaten at the same restaurant, listened to the same music, gone to the same places on the weekend? If the answer is a lot, try making a few small changes. Go ahead. Order something different the next time you go to that restaurant.
Good morning, and welcome to Consider This. I'm your host, Craig Smith. Today, my guests and I are talking about our bucket lists. A bucket list is a list of things that you want to do before a certain age or during your life. For example, I've never flown in a helicopter, and I would like to do that. Jake and Laura, have you ever flown in a helicopter?
No, I haven't. But I've flown in a small plane. It's pretty cool.
I have. It's really fun because you have a great view of everything.
What are some of the things on your bucket lists?
Well, I've never really thought about a bucket list. But I really like singing. And I'm a pretty good singer. I think I'd like to sing at an open mic session. And I've never been to Washington, D.C. It's the capital of my country, so I'd like to do that.
I really like cars, and I've never driven a sports car. I would love to drive something like a Porsche or a Maserati.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, after a commercial break, I'm going to talk about how to make a bucket list. I have a couple of tips for making a bucket list. First, try to be realistic. Your list should include things that you think are possible. For example, traveling into space is probably not possible, so traveling to Europe is probably a better option. Next, don't include too many things on your list. You probably won't have time to do all the things on a very long list. One idea is to have 1 or 2 big things, like traveling around the world, and several smaller things, like buying a car or moving to another city. Thanks for listening, and good luck with your bucket list.
Good afternoon. For today's episode of Changing Cities, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks for inviting me to visit your hometown, Amy. It's beautiful here.
Yes, it's beautiful now, but it has changed a lot.
Really? How has it changed?
Pittsburgh was a very industrial city in the past, and it was really polluted. They've really cleaned it up.
Oh, wow. How long has it been this way?
Since the 1980s, I think. That's when the factories closed and the city started to change.
So what kinds of changes have happened?
Oh, lots of things. They've created a lot of green spaces with walking trails and playgrounds. They've also put in pedestrian areas and created bike lanes. So now people walk and bike a lot more.
That's really cool. Hey, what are all those people doing around that truck?
Oh, that's a food truck. Do you have those in your city?
No, we don't.
Food trucks have become very popular in the U.S. They have lots of different kinds of food, and it's fast and not very expensive.
That's a great idea.
That truck has Chinese food. Do you want some?
Yeah, I'm hungry. Guest Opinion: Tourist in Your Own Town by Lynn Williams. I have decided to become a tourist in my own town and the areas near my town. I read an article that said that many people do not know their own towns, and I thought, that's me. I've lived here for 15 years, but I always do the same things and go to the same places. I did some research about activities and places in and near my town, and I've made a list of things that I've never done or that I haven't done in a long time. I've never gone to a high school sports event. I've been to the History Museum only once, several years ago. I've never seen the sunset from Pine Mountain. There are about 20 restaurants that I've never tried. I've never shopped in the farmer's market. I haven't taken a walk on the trail next to the river in 5 years. Those are only a few of the things on my list. I imagine that it's the same for almost everyone. We all have our routines, and we never do or see a lot of the fun, interesting things near us. So start a sentence with, I've never, and see how many ways you can complete it. Do some research to find out what there is to do and see in your area. Then go out and become a tourist in your own town.
How career ready are you? Have you started your career yet? If you have just started working, you are probably very happy and are learning a lot about your job. However, if you have already worked for a while, you are probably thinking about how to improve your career options. If you haven't started working yet, you are probably thinking about what kind of career you want. It is always a good idea to think about the next step in your working life. First, it is important to understand that being career ready refers to more than training and knowledge about a job or a career. It refers to a combination of knowledge, skills, and personal characteristics. Knowledge includes the academic or technical information that you need for a career area or a specific job, but it also includes other types of knowledge. For example, you may need general math skills or a good level of English. Skills include specific technical skills, but they also include skills like using your time well, the ability to communicate, and working in a team.
One of the most important skills today is the ability to solve problems. Finally, you need to understand what personal characteristics and personality types are ideal for different jobs and careers. Some people with excellent academic qualifications are unhappy in their careers because their jobs don't really match their personalities. It doesn't matter if you have just graduated from high school or college, haven't graduated yet, or already have a job. You should take some time to think about your future. How career ready are you?
Welcome to our community. I'm interviewing Carmen Vega, a very successful entrepreneur in our community. Carmen is the owner of That's Cool, the most popular ice cream shop in town. Carmen, how long has the shop been in business?
I've been in business for 5 years now. When I started, I hired one employee. I made the ice cream and she served the customers.
That's Cool is now the #1 ice cream shop in the community. Why have you been so successful?
That's simple. We have great ice cream.
The ice cream is fantastic. But for a business to succeed, it also needs good management. Do you have a degree in business?
No, I don't. I started college, majoring in architecture, but I didn't graduate.
What happened?
Well, one summer I was bored, so I took a class to learn how to make ice cream. I loved it. I made about 20 kinds of ice cream that summer.
Is that when you started the business?
Nope. I went back to college in the fall, but I really wasn't very interested in it. Then my sister said, "Why don't you try to sell your ice cream?" I thought it was an excellent idea. So when school was out in the spring, I opened the ice cream shop. I never went back to college.
Do you like owning your own business?
I love it. I didn't have to apply for a job, try to get a raise or a promotion, or climb the corporate ladder.
Well, you've had an interesting career path. How many ice cream flavors have you invented so far?
I'm not sure, but more than 20, I think. I've just created a new flavor called Orange Chill. It has green chilies and oranges.
Oh, wow. Have you started selling it yet?
Yes, we have. We started selling it last week, and we've already sold out.
Carmen, thanks for talking to me, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm your host, Nick Walker, and the topic of our talk today is Getting a Job in the 21st Century. Please welcome Barbara Nelson from Job Search Consultants. Barbara, can you explain what 21st century employability skills are?
Yes, of course. In the past, employers usually looked at two things: college degrees and work experience. But that has changed. Now employers want to hire people who also have other skills, and sometimes those skills are more important.
That's interesting. Is it possible that someone who is, for example, very organized, creative, and motivated could get a better job than someone with a degree from a good university?
Definitely. Let me give you an example. I had two good candidates for a job as finance manager for a big company. I'll call them Joe and James. Joe had a master's degree in finance from a very good university. James didn't have a master's, and he went to an average university.
Let me guess. James got the job.
Yes, he did. Joe had good technical knowledge, but a manager has to work with people, and James had better interpersonal skills. He showed that he was flexible and enjoyed working in a team. He was also curious, and he asked a lot of interesting questions about the bank and its employees. Finally, he seemed more motivated to learn new things and try creative ways to solve problems.
So, if you're flexible, motivated, curious, and creative, you can sometimes stand out more than someone with only excellent academic qualifications or a lot of work experience.
That's right. Of course, it's best to have excellent skills and great qualifications.
Sure. Barbara, thank you for this important information.
You're welcome, Nick.
Turn skills into sales. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? These days, more and more young people are doing just that. There are many types of businesses that are not very expensive to start. Often, you just need a computer, but you also need to be motivated and patient because starting a business takes a lot of time and hard work. There are several areas that offer good business opportunities for young people. If you are creative, make handmade items. Clothes, jewelry, soap, hand-painted t-shirts, origami designs, or greeting cards. Are you good at photography? Take pictures and sell them to online stock photo companies. Take photos or make videos of weddings, family reunions, or community events. Start a pet portrait business. Can you cook? Make cookies or cupcakes to sell to friends, at community events, or online. Do you love animals? Think about dog walking or pet sitting. You can also make different flavors of dog treats. If you have good computer skills, there are many possibilities for making money. Start a device setup service to help people get started with new computers, tablets, phones, or any other device. Become a tech tutor to teach children or older people how to use computers. Do you like public speaking, writing, or performing? If you have interesting things to say, you can start a blog or a vlog and get money from advertisers. Maybe you can become a video personality or create videos to teach people how to do things. Finally, one of the easiest ways to make money is to sell things online. Sell items that your family doesn't use anymore, and buy things online or at garage sales and resell them.
Kids plus adults equal kidults. Adults like having toys. No, not boats, sports equipment, or expensive audio equipment, but actual children's toys. They are making things with building blocks, coloring in coloring books, making art with 3D pens, and doing difficult puzzles. They are bouncing inside enormous plastic balls and flying kites. There is a new term for adults who love playing like children: kidults. Why is this happening? Experts think that in part it is because people, especially millennials, want an escape from the complications of the modern world. Acting like a child is a way to return to a simpler time. But there is another reason for this trend. Doing kids' activities is fun. Why shouldn't adults enjoy doing things like flying kites or coloring? People over 50 also spend time doing children's activities. Many grandparents are very healthy and active, and they love playing with their grandchildren. Seniors are playing board games, doing arts and crafts, and participating in other activities that kids love. Being an adult doesn't mean that you have to be serious all the time or pay a lot of money for entertainment. Are you creative? Try building a model or making a sculpture with clay. Maybe you love being active, but you can't stand playing competitive sports. Try jumping rope or flying a kite. Find your inner child and enjoy being a kidult.
Yay! Today's Friday!
Yeah. What do you guys want to do this weekend? Kate?
I want to do something different. We always do the same stuff. Go to a movie or hang out at somebody's house. Doing the same things all the time is boring.
Kate's right. Why don't we actually make a plan for the whole weekend?
Great idea! Okay, what do we all like doing? I love going out to hear live music. I'd like to do that Saturday night.
Sure. Live music is a good idea.
Cool. I'll find out who's playing at the clubs. What about during the day?
I'd like to do something creative. There are one-day classes in arts and crafts at the community center. You can learn how to make something, like candles or simple jewelry.
I don't know. I'd rather do a physical activity. I don't really like doing arts and crafts.
I know! Let's go paddleboarding on the river.
Paddleboarding is an awesome idea. Stefan and Kate, what do you guys think?
Sure. Let's go for it. I prefer doing physical activities too.
Fine with me. So Saturday is paddleboarding and then live music in the evening. What about Sunday?
Why don't we have a picnic? We can go for a drive and look for a nice place to spend the morning.
Okay, but I would prefer to do it later in the day. I hate getting up early on Sunday.
That sounds good. I'd prefer to go later too.
So, do we have a plan? Or would you rather think of some other options?
I'm fine with this plan.
Me too.
That sounds good. It will be fun and different.
Would you like to go to the new museum tomorrow?
That sounds great. We should go early when there are fewer people.
Actually, I would rather go in the afternoon. Is that okay?
That's fine. Could you pick me up?
Sure.
Good morning. I have a question for you. How often do you do nothing, and how do you feel when you are doing nothing?
I get bored. I would rather be busy all the time.
Yeah, I agree. If I sit around and do nothing, I feel guilty. I prefer to finish everything I have to do.
Wow, I totally disagree. I think doing nothing helps you relax. So when you start working or studying, you feel rested. I often take a break to sit in the park or just lie on the sofa.
I agree about relaxing, but I'd rather watch a movie or read a book. To me, that's doing nothing. It makes me nervous to do absolutely nothing.
Okay. How many think that things like reading or checking your social media are doing nothing? Okay, about half the class. How many think that doing nothing is bad? More than half.
So, Professor Nelson, is it bad to do nothing?
Not necessarily. In fact, a lot of psychologists say that doing nothing is healthy. Being busy all the time is stressful, and it's hard to work or study well when you're stressed. Also, doing nothing helps you be more creative, and that helps you solve problems.
So, Professor Nelson, can our homework be to do nothing?
Yes, it can. Actually, Your homework for next class is to take some time to do nothing. At least 1 hour, and I mean absolutely nothing. No social media, TV, reading, or whatever. Just do nothing. After 1 hour, write down what you were thinking and feeling while you were doing nothing. Was it a positive or a negative experience?
Mindfulness for mental relaxation. Study, work, family, friends, pets, social media. We feel tired and stressed because we can't do everything. The effects of this are that we are less efficient, less creative, and less happy. We all try to do leisure activities like playing sports or watching movies, but what about leisure time for the mind? In recent years, many people have started to practice mindfulness. Being mindful means that you are paying attention to what you are doing at the moment, to your feelings, and to the things that are happening around you. You are not thinking about things that have already happened or worrying about what is going to happen. For example, if you notice how the sun feels on your face or how your clean clothes smell, you are being mindful. There are some simple things that you can do to practice mindfulness. Do you like walking? Go for a walk, but don't think about walking fast or going a certain distance. Walk slowly. Think about how your body feels. Stop and look at trees or flowers. Stop and close your eyes. What do you hear, feel, or smell? Would you rather do something creative? Paint something or do a craft. Don't worry if it isn't good. Think about the process. How does the paintbrush feel in your hand? What does each color make you think of? Giving your brain time to relax can help you feel less stressed and more rested. The result is more creativity and better problem solving.